Welcome to your first day in the computer lab at Mary Casey Black. My name is Mrs. Dorita and I'm going to be your computer teacher this year. Now that you're here, I want to remind you that although I'm not one of your regular classroom teachers, I'm still your teacher and I will see you once a week in the lab. I want to remind you that you need to treat me with the same respect and hold me in the same regard as you do your classroom teacher. You'll be in my class once a week for 45 minutes during 4th and 5th grade. Just like your classroom teacher, I have rules, policies, and procedures that I expect all my students to follow when they're members of my technology classroom. This helps to move things along smoothly. We don't have a lot of time to waste. When you get into middle school, a lot of your teachers are going to expect you to complete assignments using technology. My job is to make sure that you are ready for middle school. We have a lot to cover. So let's take a few minutes and I'd like to share with you a little bit more about myself and talk about the rules and procedures that we have in the lab. I expect all students to follow these rules while they're in my technology classroom. Let's get started. Hi, my name is Mrs. Dorita and I'm the computer teacher at Mary Casey Black Elementary. I wanted to start by telling you a little bit about myself. I live here in Brentwood with my husband and my 3 children, Madison, who goes to Freedom High School, Noah, who is in 8th grade at Bristow and is a production student, and my youngest son, Chase, who goes to Pioneer Elementary and is in 5th grade this year. My son, Noah, is so good at computers. He's actually the one that helped me create this video. I really enjoy spending time with my family when I'm not working. I wanted to start by giving you some guidelines on the lab and some of the rules that we follow when we're in the lab. You want to always take directions from the teacher at the door before you enter the classroom. So you're going to line up outside of the door and wait for me to give directions. Once you get directions, you're going to come in and go directly to your assigned computer, and then you're going to follow the beginning class routine. Make sure when you come into the lab, you come in quietly. You will be assigned a computer today, and that will be the computer that you sit at for the whole year unless you are moved because of a behavior issue. We use the color card systems to ask for help and or to print, and I will explain that further in a moment. Also, we always give 5 before we leave the lab, and I'll go over that as well. Let's start with talking about name tags. There's a stack of cards hanging on the side of your monitor. One of those cards today, you will create a name tag for yourself. You want to make sure you write your first name large enough in black Sharpie so that I can see your first name across the room. You're going to slide that name tag into the small little plastic tabs at the top of your monitor while you're working so that I know everybody's name. Please be careful with these name tag holders. They can fall off easily. We use the color card system in the computer lab, and you will see next to your monitor there's a cup with 3 color cards. You will put your blue card up if you have a question for the teacher or if you need help, but you can continue working. Remember, even if your blue card is up, it's going to take a few minutes for your teacher to get to you, so please wait patiently. Continue working if you can. The red color card is when you cannot continue working. Maybe your computer is frozen or you can't log in. Remember, even when you put your red card up, it might take a few minutes for your teacher to help you. Please be patient. The green card is to go up when you are ready to print. We only use this green card when we're doing a project that involves printing. We never print without permission. We want to make sure we don't waste paper and or ink. So when we're doing a project and you are ready to print, please put your green card up and wait patiently. I want to take a minute to talk to you about being patient. Being patient is key to our success in the lab. There is only one of me and over 30 of you, so you need to be patient at all times. When I'm giving directions, please wait until the end of the directions are complete, and I will always ask for questions before I have you begin your work independently. Remember, while you're working, if you still need help, you can always post one of your color cards. And I want you to know, I understand computers can be very frustrating at times. They don't always do what we want them to do, and sometimes we are really stuck. I want you to remember to always use your patience. Take a deep breath and try again, especially when it comes to logging in. Remember, we are all learning together. If you are experiencing computer lag or having issues logging in, you need to take a deep breath, try it again, and if it still doesn't work, put up one of your color cards and wait patiently. Moving on now, let's talk about some of the rules that we have in the computer lab. We don't really save very often because this year we're going to be using Google Docs and we're going to be saving it to the cloud. It automatically saves, so we don't need to worry about saving. But we never bring food or drink into the lab. You want to always keep your workstation neat and tidy. When we surf on the internet, we always surf safely. Remember to always respect others. Keep your files organized. Remember to log off at the end of the day. Don't change any settings on your computers. Remember to only print when necessary and always work quietly. Let me talk about computer etiquette really quick. This is just good manners in the lab. So part of it is keeping your hands clean. Come into the lab with clean hands so your sticky fingers don't leave residue on our keyboard or our mouse. When you're working, please have quiet feet. Don't jam your mouse down. It's disrespectful to those working around you. And don't touch other people's equipment. Don't touch another student's keyboard or mouse without permission. And finally, I wanted to touch lightly on bathroom breaks. I only have you for 45 minutes once a week. Please remember to use the bathroom before or after you come to the computer lab. This week and probably next week, we will be using temporary logins to log into our computer. So the way we do that is we write in mcb-lab with the number of your computer followed behind. Login password is going to be 12345. So what that might look like is mcb-lab02 for the student that is sitting at computer number 2, and the password for everybody will be 12345. So if you're sitting at computer 18, your username will be mcb-lablab18 for 18. So you need to change this number here to whatever number you're sitting at on the computer. Once our logins are ready, you need to make sure that you log in properly. This is the biggest challenge in the lab, so this is going to be a big task for you to memorize for these first 2 weeks of school. Your username is going to be your first initial, followed by a dot, then your last name. Your password is going to be your first initial, last initial, your student ID number, followed by a lowercase a. Now, every once in a while, we'll get maybe 2 students that have similar names. So if there's more than one J. Dorita in our school district, sometimes they have to add a number at the end. So some logins are going to have a first initial, dot, last name, and a number at the end. If this is you, you need to make sure you remember to add that number each and every time. And I want you to know that this week you have homework, and your homework is to memorize your username and password. This has to be kept in your head. It's very private, and we don't ever share passwords. We're going to learn a lot of cool things this year, and let me share with you a few of them. You're going to learn basically how to operate a computer. You're going to be creating word processing documents using cloud-based programs such as our Google Docs. We're going to do Google Slides, and you're also going to be doing Google Drawings at the end of the year. You're going to learn how to keyboard properly. You're going to learn how to be a good digital citizen and how to navigate and be safe on the internet. I'm going to teach you how to research using keywords, how to evaluate websites, how to take notes when researching, and how to cite your sources. I don't want you to forget, this year we're adding coding, and we're going to be doing a lot of it in the month of December. And I just want everybody to learn that computers are really fun, and I think you're going to have a great time this year. Now I want to touch lightly on digital citizenship. It's about being responsible online. I want everyone to be aware that you are only allowed to go to approved websites and programs. You are not allowed to email at school, and actually our email feature has been turned off. There won't be any chatting. No chatting is allowed. So when we work in Google Docs, I don't want you communicating with friends through Google Docs. We're only using it for learning purposes. You're only to use your Google School account at school. Never give out your information. Never click on advertisements that pop up. And when we're researching, I want to make sure you make good and safe choices, or you could lose your computer privilege. Anything you say, post, or view can be seen by your family, teachers, friends, neighbors, and even strangers. So think and be responsible before you post. That means think, is it true? H, is it helpful? I, is it inspiring? N, is it necessary? K, is it kind? Most of us are too young to be using social media, but I want you to know that if you are posting anything to the internet, you need to make sure that you follow these rules. Finally, if you do come across something inappropriate online and it makes you feel uncomfortable, or you feel that you shouldn't be looking at it, the first thing you do is X out immediately. There's a little red box in the upper right hand corner. You need to click that and it will immediately close. The second thing you're going to do is tell an adult what happened. And the last thing I want you to do is don't call your friends over to look at it. So if you come across something that's inappropriate, it's not your fault if it was an accident. But if you go and share that with friends around you, then it will be your fault, because then you are sharing something that is inappropriate that you came across unexpectedly. Really quick, I want to touch on our lab rules. I have a 3-strike policy. I'm pretty fair. I will give you a couple warnings, but if your behavior doesn't change, then you do take a break from your computer. If you change your attitude and your behavior, I will allow you to come back and join the class and return to your computer. However, on the 3rd time, if your behavior still does not change, you will be removed from your computer station and will not be able to participate in classroom activities. You will likely be writing sentences for the rest of the computer time. And finally, if you still can't behave and you're disruptive to others, I will send you to the office and have a visit with the principal. Let's stop now and talk about some of the routines that we have in the computer lab. The first thing you do when you come into the lab is our beginning routine. So you're going to come in quietly and sit at your assigned computer and have good posture. Having good posture is very important in the lab. You need to have good body language. So make sure you're sitting up tall in your chair, your feet are on your floor, your eyes are on the screen, your hand is on your mouse, and that you're ready to learn. This is considered a working position. Number 2, log into your computer. This is where you need to have those username and passwords memorized. Number 3, slide your name tag into the name tag holder at the top of your monitor. Number 4, you're going to click on either the 4th or 5th grade folder on your desktop. So you'll see a 4th grade folder or a 5th grade folder, depending what grade you're in. Double-click it to open it, and you will see that the digital classroom is one of your options. Once you find the digital classroom, double-click to open it. That will take you right into the digital classroom website. This is my personal website that I've created for all of you. This is where I put all my lessons and activities and everything that we will be working on this year. There's a little button on the home page that says today's lesson. Always click today's lesson and it will direct you right into today's activity. So I want you to look at picture 1 and 2 and think to yourself, what is wrong with this picture? This student came into the lab but didn't follow the beginning routine. Do you see if his name tag is up? Do you see if his mouse is in a good position and his keyboard is aligned? How about here? He doesn't have good posture and he doesn't look like he's ready to work. So we have many postures in the classroom. I find it very important to have good posture and body language when you're working in the lab. Our first position is a learning position when you're facing your computer screen, just like you do when you come into the lab. Feet are on the floor, elbows at your side, eyes on your monitor, hand on your mouse. Another position we have is called the polite position, and that's where we turn our chair to the side and push it up against the desk. You should be facing the projector. Your feet should be on the floor or crossed. Your hands should be in your lap. And your eyes should be on the projector or on the teacher, ready to learn. So there's 2 pictures that show you what not to look like. You can see that he does not have good posture. He's not sitting in his chair looking up at the projector. He's looking at his monitor. He's distracted. So make sure when you're in a polite position that you are polite and you're ready to learn and you're not distracted by your monitor or anything else. Before you leave the lab, each and every time you need to follow these 5 steps. You need to exit your programs. So you go to the red X in the corner and close out of it. The second step is to log off. So you go and log off of your computer. Once you've logged off, you hang your headphones and you make sure your name tag cards are hanging nicely on the hook. I also want to make sure that you tidy up those cups and your color cards are all nice and neat and not dumped over on the desk. Number 4, align your keyboard and mouse so it looks nice and tidy on your desk, ready for the next person to come in and work. And finally, push in your chair, stand behind it, and wait patiently to be dismissed. This is what Give Me 5 should look like. You've logged off and exited all programs. You've aligned your keyboard and mouse and hung the headphones and cards on the hook on the side. Look how nicely the cup looks. It has a pencil and the color cards in it. The chair is pushed in and you're standing behind it, ready to be dismissed. So that wraps it up, and I really am excited to get started with you today. I know there's a lot of rules and procedures, but I promise to help you along the way, and I can't wait to teach you technology.